Gamers, we're so back. JD's and Lenelman, kind of crazy. How we doing? Hope you guys are having a great and swell Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. We're back from Worlds. It's been a minute, guys. Unfortunately, as soon as I got back from Worlds, because I took so much time off, I've kind of been working nonstop, to be honest with you guys. This is my first day off since getting back, if I'm not mistaken. Prize, thank you so much for the 73 months of tier 1. And Ariel, thank you for the 58 months of being a Woodland Guardian. Time is an effing lie, but hey, almost 60 months. And that is indeed and in fact neat. So thank you so much for Prize for the 73 months on Twitch and Ariel for the 58 months on YouTube. Snacks, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're having a great day. Hello, hello. But yeah, I know it's been a minute since I've been live, guys. Not by choice, but by force. So yeah, like I said, first day back since being back. It's been busy. It's been a lot, guys. I was thinking, wow, I haven't seen Linz in forever. Hey, that's me. And I'm here on your screens now. Yeah, it's just, like I said, it's been really busy. We were at Worlds for a while. And like I've had a few afternoons, right? But I just know a lot of you guys, like just watch night streams, you know what I mean? So I was like, if I'm gonna go live, I feel like it makes more sense for me to like go live at my more normal time than it does for me to like do a stream that you guys aren't going to be there for, you know what I mean? Also prized with the 69 months of being a kitsune. That is the $100 member tier over on YouTube. That is first and foremost an insane amount of support. Thank you so much for just the sheer amount of support that brings to the channel. But also 69 months is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Thank you so much, gamer. It means the entire world. You're a hero, and I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. What do you have to say about the yapping allegations? Hi, Tristan. That they're real. I am a professional yapper. In and out, for sure. Hope it was great seeing you at Worlds again. It was great seeing you at Worlds. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi when you saw us. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys, are in school now, because school's back. A lot of you guys are, like, at work, obviously, as well, so... I just kind of figured I would hold off and just like have my first like comeback back to stream when you guys are like available, because it just didn't make sense otherwise, you know? I just felt like that made sense. But what are your thoughts on all the Taylor Swift news that's dropped since Worlds? I know, that's crazy. So she dropped the album while I was on the plane, and I paid for Wi-Fi and I watched the live stream. So super stoked, super excited, if you will. But obviously she got engaged today, so very exciting. I'm happy for her. Like, obviously, like, nobody wants to be a Parasocial fan, but, I know that she's been wanting this in her life for a long time, and I think she's finally in the relationship she needs to be in order for the things that she's wanted in her life for a long time to like kind of come to fruition based off of what she said and like advocated for in relationships in the past. So I'm happy for her. Obviously super stoked for the life of the showgirl. The album got spoiled for me before she announced it, which is kind of crazy. Someone leaked they didn't leak the cover, but they leaked the inside panel of one of the vinyls. And I didn't know what it was called, but I knew that there were like the certain amount of tracks. I knew the track titles. TikTok. It was just like right in your face. It was one of those things where you're like, oh, what is this? And then I was like, is this AI? And then by the time I like got to the meat of what was actually happening, I was like, oh, so now it's too late. That's neat. But I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Junior year's been killing you. Junior year's a tough year. Regardless of whether it's high school or college, junior year is a tough time. I can't even lie to you. I do not miss junior year at all, actually. I think life got better when junior year stopped being a thing. But it was really cool meeting a lot of people at Worlds. I know I got to meet Koza. I got to meet KC. I met so many people. I got to meet 𝗼𝗎𝚘𝚗. I got to meet Viper. Viper was really sweet. Viper also gave us slabs. So there was just a gift box of a whole bunch of things. I got a Flareon figure. I got some evolution artwork. And these are PSA graded slabs. So I have a Japanese Sabrina. That's a PSA 9. I also have a PSA 9 Jungle Nidoqueen. It's hollow, by the way. Kind of crazy. And then I have a Neogenesis Bellossom. That is also hollow first edition. That's an 8. So super cool that Viper gave these to us. Like, super, super sweet. Obviously really cool to put faces to names. Also, thank you so much, Dan. Sorry. Choking, dying. Thank you so much for the 79 months, Dan. I only have 2 words. True mission. You know what? Period, Dan. Period. Also, Bri, I got you. I got you. Hi, Mark. Where's my... There's your thing. There's your thing. Yo, beginning. It was great to see you at Worlds. Lovely to see you here today. I hope your post-Worlds recovery has been well. Part of the reason I haven't been live as well, guys, was obviously it was Vandy's birthday. And his family came down, and so we spent his birthday together. I got to spend time with his family, so that was really nice. It's just been... There's been a lot happening, but like I said, it's all stuff in a positive direction. I've been meaning to tell you guys as well, I will probably be changing my work availability when it comes to ZA getting released. Just so that way I'm not working as many nights and stuff like that. It just kind of made sense for me to, like, grind IRL while Pokemon hasn't given me a lot of material to grind with. So then that way when ZA drops and we're, like, really back into the swing of Pokemon, I at least, like, have things to make content on. You know what I'm saying? And I found out because of the ZA demos that happened at Worlds, the thing that's really cool is I was really... How do I say this? I really had a specific kind of content that I want to grind out and do video-wise when ZA comes out. And I haven't heard anyone else say that they wanted to do this. But all of it was dependent on the battling system of ZA and how good and well thought out it is, I guess is the way to describe it. And so I was literally like on my hands and knees at Worlds, and anyone who had the demo, because Vandy and I didn't get the demo, I was like, listen, how is the comp? Like, I was asking people so many questions, and thankfully, everything, at least obviously this was a demo. We still need to see everything be fully fleshed out because the game's not in our hands yet, right? But it sounds like everything I want to do content-wise for ZA, people said I should be able to do based off of the demo. So that makes me really excited for just content in general going into ZA. And I think it's really cool. And it's the first time I've had, like, A, an idea when it comes to content, and B, just, like, straight up motivation to want to make video content again. So I think that's super, super cool, and I'm very excited for that. And that was, like, a really big thing at Worlds for me. So being able to hear that I can actually do the kind of content that I want to do is so massive. So massive. I just recovered from being sick. Vandy's been sick too. I think he's finally feeling better. He hasn't complained about being awful, so in the man sense of the word, I'm gonna assume that that means he is feeling better. But I don't know. I was never sick. I just, like, it didn't help that I started my period right after Worlds because I just had, like, I just felt gross, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna assume it was hormone based, but we both took COVID tests and thankfully we were both negative because I know a lot of people tested positive after Worlds, and that's obviously not very good. Not very good, chat. Yeah, so thankfully we're both negative. So sounds like things are good. Yeah, things are good. Things have just been busy. Very, very busy. Can we talk about the non-you call doo-doo getting a mega? Yes, so another thing that I haven't had a chance to announce is, yes, obviously Mega Victory Bell is a thing. I think it's really silly. Obviously, doo-doo's been a meme on the channel for like a minute. I didn't even put doo-doo and the mega like together in my head mentally, so that's kind of funny, to be honest with you guys. But it's really silly. I'm not gonna lie, I knew Victory Bell was coming. Unfortunately, I have seen the leaks. I'm not gonna tell you guys that I haven't. I do know everything that is planned for ZA for the most part. For the most part. And if you put leaks in the chat, I will insta-ban you. So if you think you're hee-hee-ha-ha spoiling in chat, you will get permabanned and insta-banned. So I knew that it was going to be Victory Bell that was announced. I did not know what he looked like. And so to wake up and see him in all of his derpy glory is so silly. What if it's a legit guess that just happens to be on the leaks? I just say, don't put it in the chat, and then you don't have to worry about it. Thoughts? Thoughts? If you have to worry about it getting deleted, chances are it's just safer to not put it, you know? You know what I mean? Mods have the flex tape and will patch in he leaks. That's so funny. I like it. I like it. I like it. I also know the leaks. Yeah. Yeah. Tell him, Bri. My team so far will be Embor and Victory Bell. I don't think I know enough about the game yet. I don't know enough about the game yet. Obviously, I do have access to Mega Absol and Mega Altaria. They're back. So obviously, those are my friends, and I do want to do a run with them. So like when it comes to that, I obviously want Mega Absol, obviously want Mega Altaria, and then probably Chikorita being the starter. So I think that's probably like at least 3 of the mons I want to use. But obviously I'm still waiting to see what all gets released, what all happens, all that kind of stuff, you know? Yeah, in other words, don't be a doo-doo head, chat. Don't be a doo-doo head. It's been a tradition for me to get sick after the first week of school. Honestly, though, that like kind of makes sense, though, because like if you think about it, it's so many people who are back in a social setting in a very like confined space after people probably haven't been around that many people over summer break, you know what I mean? Obviously, you're not like a teacher, right? But you like run after school stuff, so you have contact with a lot of other kids. But I think that's just kind of what ends up happening, you know, because it's just so many germs in a small space that aren't used to being that condensed, if you will. But if only we get the dragon fairy type. True. Also, FYI, the program that I use for paw prints did a massive update, and we're talking like newspaper to like modern day software. I don't know if paw prints are working because the app literally updated 5 minutes before I went live. So if paw prints are down, I'm gonna see what I can do to get paw prints back up and like running. But if it's not working, I'm assuming it's because it did like, I kid you not, one of the biggest UI updates I have seen. Oh, it does work. Okay, period. Period. I got worried and then I realized Connor did paw prints on YouTube and that's why it didn't work. But also Jade, welcome to the stream. I hope we're doing well. Hello, hello. It's kind of weird that I add Ariel on Facebook and so many people from Discord start popping up as people I might know. Yeah, that's why I don't like Facebook. Like, I don't feel like Facebook should know that. You know what I mean? Like, how does Facebook know that you know that person? And I say no, like, loosely in quotations. Like, I'm not a fan, personally. Not a fan. It makes me feel about it, you know? The decline button is my friend. I don't open Facebook. I couldn't tell you the last time I was ever even on Facebook. I do not. Do you see South Carolina's getting a Dutch Bros? I did not. That's very cool. I know they're opening like 3 in Georgia this year. I know 1 already opened, and then there's 2 more that are supposed to be opening this year. So it's happening. It's happening. The journey of all the megas. Oh, you're drawing all the megas? That's so cool. Honestly, I'm here for it. I'm very excited to see what you cook up. I'm going to turn my fan on as well really quick, chat. I always have to wait for it to like hit the point where it's hot, and then I have to turn it on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. I'm so sore, chat. Ugh. Okay, we're so back. We're so back. Yeah, honestly, guys, I'm planning on having like today just being like a super chill stream where we can just kind of like talk and yap and do whatever we want to do. I'm very tired because even though today's my day off, I still had to go in early for work for inventory. And the day, like not the day, but like the time we do inventory varies a lot every single few weeks. And I got the call for inventory at 5:30 in the morning. So, that was really early. Thankfully we got it done by like 8-ish, 9-ish, something like that. But I came home, and so like the issue was, right, is because I have such bad insomnia. Word picture. I closed last night. Didn't get home till like 11-ish, right? Had to wake up by like 5:30 in the morning. Had no idea. I just got the wake up call, right? They're like, hey, you're good to come in. And I was like, oh, great. But because I have such bad insomnia, I had to take sleepy meds. And so by the time I came home, waited for the sleepy meds to kick in, I didn't get a lot of sleep, and I was still like groggy, right, you know? And then I did inventory while groggy, and then I tried to fall asleep again, and I took a nap, and I almost feel like the nap made it worse because now I feel like I'm more tired than I was before I took the nap. And then I think my body's just running on fumes and exhaustion because like randomly before I started stream, I just got a random anxiety spike. And you know those times where like you're sitting there and then your brain comes up with something that's just like so off the walls and like doesn't even make sense, but it shoots it into your brain. It's like, what if this happened? And your brain's like, that wouldn't happen. And then the other part of your brain's like, but what if it did? And then your tummy flips and then you have like the really yucky tummy ache. That's basically what happened. That's basically what happened to me right before stream. So I'm here to vibe. I'm here to... The adult life, can't sleep too much because you'll be tired, but you can't sleep because then you'll be tired. Exactly, you get it, David. I also forgot to show you guys. Viper also got me these as well while we were at Worlds. They're to add to my collection. I didn't have this Flareon card yet, so I have another Flareon to add to my collection. And then this really cute Eevee one. So big shout out to Viper as well for those. We got slabs and we got these. Viper was a very generous gift giver, chat. Because on top of that, we have a booster box of Surging Sparks as well. A nice little booster box. You can see the retail price on that thing. Yeah. So we're gonna open a few of these today as well. That is the goal. Hopefully we can get something good out of it. I need to figure out where my sleeves are though. Just on the off chance I do pull anything because I don't know where they are. But I know I have them, so regardless. How was LA? So we didn't actually go to LA. We flew into Orange County, which is a much smaller airport, because I was way closer to the convention center. So I never got to see any of LA at all. But the convention center was obviously right next to Disney. So we did go to Disney for 5 hours, something like that. So we got to experience like a teeny tiny bit of it. Vandy hadn't ridden Space Mountain yet, so he got to experience Space Mountain. We got to meet up with a group there, and it's just kind of like the thing where like once you're in a group, it's hard to like get everything you want done because you're accommodating for like so many people. So I know the one thing Vandy wanted to do was the new like Splash Mountain. That was the only thing like he wanted to do that we didn't have time to do. But even at the end of the day, like I was cool not getting wet, like to that degree, right? Because on Splash Mountain, you either get soaked or you don't get wet at all. And I feel like there's not really much of an in-between. And I just wasn't about it. But it was cute. I mean, like, I'm an adult, so it wasn't, like, crazy by any means. I'm much more of a Universal person, but, you know, I have to respect the roots, you know? I have to respect the roots. We also went on this Pinocchio ride because we were like, half of our group got separated. We were meeting up with the other half of our group. They're like, hey, we're in the line for Pinocchio because the wait line was really short. You should get in line. And that is like nightmare fuel for children. That, like, I kid you not. I was like, this is scary. Like this, what kid is gonna come out of this and not have some sort of mental breakdown? Because it's creepy, it's dark, there's dolls, things try to eat you, you're in a cage. Like this should not be a children's ride. Honestly, if you would have told me it was a horror ride meant for kids, I would have believed you. And truthfully, the only thing they need to do to make it an adult ride is make it go faster, and then when you're in the little bird cage thing, have the floor drop out from underneath you. That's all that needs to happen, and then it's immediately a horror ride. Straight up. Also, I'm not talking smack on Disney adults. I'm just saying that as an adult, I don't appreciate it the way a 5-year-old would. And there are other people who can appreciate Disney at that age and like still love every minute of it. And that's totally fine. I'm just saying, I feel like I do prefer Worlds over Land. I can't say that after being there, but I think it's also very fair to me, for me to say, I don't think, like if I had to choose between Disney and Universal after experiencing both, I would probably pick Universal. And there's nothing wrong with another person picking Disney. It's just tomato. That's all it is. No one needs to take it personally. No one needs to take it personally. Also, hi Chantal. Congratulations. Yeah, we did figure out that Universal was in LA. Unfortunately, we just didn't have the time. We did get invited to go to Universal because there was a group that was planning on going to like Nintendo Land or whatever they ended up calling it. We genuinely just did not have time for anything. Like Worlds was such a roller coaster, you guys. Like I kid you not, we landed and then we were offered plans the day that we landed, but like I needed to get food sorted out for Vandy because Vandy had really limited food options near him, and a lot of stuff was not in walking distance. So we had to get Instacart sorted. We hadn't eaten, so then we had to get food sorted. We were just like, no, there's no way we're going out tonight. Obviously, day one of Worlds happens. We're there as doors open for, like, opening ceremony. We're there all day. No, sorry. The next day was Disney. I take it back. Next day was Disney. We went to Disney. Then we had dinner plans immediately afterwards. So we went home, changed, literally had like an hour and a half, immediately went to the dinner. And then as soon as the dinner was over, everyone was like, okay, so now we're going here. We immediately go to that place. We're at that place for even more hours. Then it's opening day, right? We're there as doors open at like what, 8, 9 a.m.? Something like that. So we're getting very minimal amounts of sleep. What did we do that night? We had something else planned that night. Basically, what I'm trying to say is we went straight from wake up to convention center to another plan as soon as we got home. Like, we were never in our hotel room. There was never any downtime. So it was, you're awake by like 7 a.m. and you're not in bed or even touching a bed until like 1:30 in the morning. On top of the fact that we were jet lagged and we're in an entirely different time zone. So like 1:30 in the morning felt like 4 a.m. for us. So we were just like, oh my God. You know what I mean? So it was a lot. It was really, really fun. And like, I will never trade like the Pokemon World Championships for the world. I have such a soft spot in my heart for Worlds. Like it definitely like heals my inner child, if you will. But like, it's just something about the environment of everyone just having such a love for Pokemon. And like, basically everyone that you're friends with being there. You know what I mean? Like, the content creation sphere is so big. And it's literally just like one giant party with all of your friends that covers so many scopes of like everything that you love. On top of the fact that you have fans coming up to you and like, you know, like Vandy got recognized so much. And just like them being like, yo, I love your content and who you are and all that kind of stuff. So like, obviously there's that much sentimentality in viewers and like, there's just so much positivity around it. It really is like, it's really nice. And it like restores my, not that I ever lose it, right? But this drought of Pokemon has been rough, guys. Like, creators have had nothing to go off of for like months when it comes to Pokemon content. It has been such a bad drought. But every single time I'm at Worlds, I'm like, this is why I do my job. Like, this is why during like this off season, I have done nothing but grind at my IRL job. So then that way I can go to things like this. And then when Pokemon gives us content to work off of, then I can just lock in, you know? Oh, Kanoko, definitely be there for your significant other. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, gamer. Thank you, thank you. I think the last update was Pokerogue, and even that wasn't like Pokemon. You know what I mean? Who won Worlds? It depends on what category you're talking about. In Pokemon Unite, it was Peru versus Zeta Division. Peru was Latin America, and then Zeta Division was Japan. Peru ended up winning, so we had our first Latin America win in Pokemon Unite. Pokemon Go, I can't remember if that was the Canadian or if that was TCG that was the Canadian. I don't remember. I think it was TCG that was Canada. And then VGC was an NA sweep. So in VGC, which is the video game for those of you guys who don't know the lore, if you will, we won juniors, we won masters, which is like the teenager division, and we won the adult division. So we had an NA sweep for the video game itself. But there's a lot of stuff happening, guys. There's a lot of stuff happening. Like the fact that Champions is now going to be the battling hub for the video game content going forward. Super cool. The fact that TCG Pocket, to my understanding, is also going to be in its own category at Worlds next year. Also really cool. The stadium size as well, guys, is getting basically tripled, if not quadrupled. The arena that we had in Anaheim could apparently hold 4,000 people, which is a lot, right? Apparently, the arena that they booked for this upcoming one holds 19,000 people. So this next Worlds is going to be massive. Like, this is going to be by far the biggest thing that they have ever done. And it's going to be insane. Absolutely insane. Apparently tickets for next year's World, allegedly, because of the Pokemon XP stuff and everything like that. My understanding is they go on sale next month. So, just to have that in the back of your noggin, because it is a raffle still, to my understanding, where you say you want to sign up and then tickets get released in waves. I would highly, highly suggest bookmarking it, writing it in your calendar. You can look it up. And it's better for you to sign up and then be like, no, I don't want my tickets, than to say, oh, I'm gonna wait, and then have you not have a chance to get tickets at all. You know? So, for anyone who's contemplating, that's very big information for you, because typically Worlds tickets don't go on sale till like March. So the fact that they're doing it the month after Worlds just happened is like unheard of for typically how they do it. So, kinda crazy. I'm saving up for a Japan trip next year. Honestly, that's cool though. And I mean, you just had Worlds in your hometown. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's still a positive. You know what I mean? So honestly, I think that's great. I think it's great. Also, Chantal, I did see your message. I didn't get a chance to read it out loud, but mom and dad are getting married. And you know what? Things we love to see. She is the cheer captain. She is on the bleachers. It's a love story, and baby, she said yes. She said yes. Amazing. Other news, guys, is I did make all of the draft content public for any of you guys who haven't taken a look at your sub boxes. So anyone who is wanting to see any of my draft stuff, all of it's unlocked. There is a very, very, how do I say this? The best battle I have ever done in a professional setting is going up this Sunday. My week 5 battle is genuinely one of like the proudest battles I think I've ever done. I think it's one of the best battles I've ever done. There's a lot of memeing that goes into it too. So, it's a really funny setup as well, because basically the lore is, chat, I battle Ben, and, I can say all of this because it doesn't give anything away, but so Ben and I have had this running joke, because keep in mind, I have known Ben for years. I'm talking like probably 5+ years at this point. I have known Ben for a long time. And he and I, to my knowledge, have never battled each other, ever. I have never battled him out of fear, personally. And so the thing about it is, obviously the schedule came out. I saw that I fight Joey and Ben back-to-back weeks. And I'm like, sure, cause that's fair. You know what I mean? And so the bit that I have told Ben for as long as I have known him is that if I can't beat him, I'm gonna bring 6 red cards and I'm gonna play psychological warfare, and I'm just gonna make his life a living hell. That is what I decided that I was going to do. And so because of that, I have done nothing but psychological torture to Ben, and then Ben did psychological warfare back. So it's a really funny like start to the video, because I documented and almost like vlogged all of the like the memeing, the back and forth that we had with each other. So you guys get to see that play out. I did include an actual team builder for anyone who like genuinely cares about that kind of stuff. But you guys get a little bit of silliness, montage, vlogging, mixed with, like I said, just the back and forth. You get the team builder, and then you get, like, genuinely, like I said, one of the best battles I have ever done, and I'm really proud of it, on Sunday. So I started editing a solid chunk of it today, but I'm really excited for you guys to see it. So I'm just a girl. And like I said, honestly, I never went into these draft things with the intention of winning. or like the thought process of that I'm even remotely on the caliber of any of these people. So I have just been in this like draft league for literally the sense of, I want to do really silly things. Like fling Excadrill with Flame Orb. That's silly. I like that. Bulky Specs Milo. Silly. I like that. Double Weather, Birds of a Feather, and Heather, chat. Silly. I like that. So I just want to do like these kind of off the wall strats that people don't see coming. Not get 6-0'd and at least have people at the end of the day be like, you know what? She just joined. She hasn't done drafts since Gen 6. Like, she's in a league that's so outclassed. You know what I mean? Like, all of these are professional people. And be like, either A, I made them work for it, or B, have them be like, you know what? Respect on her. Period. You know what I mean? And so I feel like I've at least done that for like how short this entire draft season is. Because as of right now, I only have 2 battles left. And that's it. That's where we're at. So I think that I'm just overall, even though like I haven't been on a winning streak by any means, I think I've played really well. Obviously there's the one battle. If any of you guys haven't seen it, spoilers, I got crit 3 times in 5 minutes. Like, obviously there's not much I can do about that in that situation. But I think outside of just straight bad RNG unluckiness that I can't control, the things that I can control, I feel like I've done a really good job controlling. And the less I try to battle like a professional, the better I do. The less I have the damage calculator open on my third monitor over here, the better I fight. And that's currently a running meme in our Discord right now. Is obviously all the coaches are together. And I was like, just watch. I'll never use the damage calculator again and I'll make you all proud. And I'm like, surely the pros will love that. So I don't know. I think it's silly, you know? I think it's a silly time. You've played super well this far. Thank you. I'm trying. I wish the season was longer because I feel like now I'm really like in tune with like the Pokemon I have and how I want them to play off of each other. And I feel like now that I'm finally like there, the season's over. So I do wish it was longer. But obviously I know we wanted to make it as fast as possible given the fact that playoffs are a thing and stuff like that. For the people who do make it that far, just so that way it's over by the time ZA happens and people have the time to prep and do all the things like that. But it has made me love draft again. And Ben, if you're listening, you did it. You did it. I know I cried to you in call that one time. But I locked in, I got over my hormonal self, and now we're good. We're back. We're so back. So, I don't know. I don't know if and when I join another draft. Because obviously ZA coming out has to take priority. But I would highly consider doing it again if asked. I think this time especially has just been a lot busier because obviously like we literally had MomoCon in May, we had GoFest in June, we had something in July, like obviously there was the 4th, but I feel like something else happened, and then August we had Pokemon Worlds and Vandy's birthday. Also I lost my train of thought. Someone did ask if Vandy's subathon is going to be capped or uncapped. I don't want to say too much because it's his subathon. You don't have to worry about it being over by this weekend. It's kind of up in the air as to how he wants to handle it. he hasn't fully decided on how it's gonna go yet, but you can expect to have longer than like just this weekend for the subathon is what I will say, because I'd rather him speak on it. But if that answers the person's question that I'm hoping is still lurking, because it was like 20 minutes ago that they asked and I forgot. But yeah, we had Vandy's birthday, we had Worlds, and now we're doing draft, right? My birthday is the end of September. Vandy's doing his subathon, and in the middle of this, somewhere, somehow, Vandy's family is flying both of us out for like a family vacation getaway reunion thing in Chicago that they're going to be celebrating my birthday with as well. So then we basically fly out end of September for all of that. We come back, and then we have a little bit of October. We have a 21 Pilots concert literally the night before 𝗑𝗓 drops. And then 𝗑𝗓 drops. And then my subathon is like the weekend of 𝗑𝗓 dropping. That one will be capped because I do have work that I have to report to. So my capped subathon will happen then. And I think my first break, if you will, is like basically November. That's at least the first chance I have where nothing's on the calendar other than going to one singular Falcons game. That's it. That's it. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. You're currently shiny hunting in Let's Go Eevee and you just restarted the game. You're doing a shiny gym challenge. Well, congratulations. I hope it goes very well. No, I am not doing midnight release for 𝗑𝗓. I just don't think it's smart. I know a lot of people don't want to get spoiled on 𝗑𝗓, which is gonna make doing a subathon a little tough. Because I do want to obviously cover 𝗑𝗓 and hopefully like beat it during subathon. But obviously I know people are so touchy about like them beating the game first. So I'm trying to figure out how to navigate that. But regardless, I'm not going live at midnight for it. That I can absolutely guarantee you is not happening. So, you're going to the Pokemon Regionals in Vegas in November? That's honestly, that's sick. That's really sick. I hope you have a great time. I loved Regionals. Regionals was very fun. The thing that like sucks for me with Regionals is I really enjoy watching the competitive. And a lot of other people just don't care about the competitive. So that's been the only like tough part about those events is I want to sit and watch and a lot of other people want to do like social things. And I'm like, guys, we can do social stuff whenever we want. Like what? Like I just want to watch the battles because like when else are we going to be here for the battles? You know what I mean? I thought about going to Regionals, but I'm going to be at a Sabrina Carpenter concert instead. She hasn't announced tickets for the new tour, right? Because I hear people saying stuff about Sabrina, but I have not seen tour dates for like Man's Best Friend come out yet. Because I would have signed up for pre-sale. But I'm like curious as to like what people know that I don't. Also, that album comes out Friday. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I had another train of thought I was going to go down. But I don't remember. Oh, the last short and sweet date she put out. That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, I kind of forgot she did those. I thought those were over. Apparently they're not. So, news to me. News to me. I'm really trying to think of what I was gonna say. Guys, no, I'm literally getting fed so much. I kid you not. I get Sabrina this week. I get Taylor in October. I get 21 Pilots in September, I believe. So those are like my top 5 artists. The only thing that would make it is if Halsey also dropped one. But Halsey also just got off of her tour. and is like recovering from lupus and everything else that she has physically going on in her body. Like, girl was performing with like needles in her body. Like, she needs time. I pray she doesn't release another album, to be honest with you. So musically, I am getting fed, chat. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm really trying to think of what I was gonna say. For those of you who don't know, Vandy and I are competing in Pokemon Unite next year. We have our team. We're waiting for potential tournaments to enter and stuff like that. So that's something that's really cool. I got to meet a lot of my really big Unite inspirations, I guess is the word. There's a player that I've literally looked up to since season 1. Never had a chance to ever see them, say hi to them, at all. And I finally got to meet them. Their name's 𝗑𝗓𝚘. And so I got to say hi to them at Worlds and just kind of be like, yo, you're the inspiration. You know, like, you're definitely like the person I look up to the most in this sphere. So like, thank you for being you. And he was like, well, did you see my tweet? And I was like, what tweet? And I guess he tweeted out that if people are like fans of his, I guess if you want to use the word fans, and they come up and like talk to him, he had these little like care packages that he gives out. And so Noun's like logo is these like 8-bit sunglasses. So he gave me a pair of the sunglasses. And then he had a whole bunch of like customized stickers that had their like team and a whole bunch of like drawn Pokemon on them. And he's like, here, you can pick a sticker. And I was like, oh, okay. And I go to pick it, and like, you know how they like fan them out. And I went to go pick it, but like it wouldn't come out. And I was like, oh no, this is so bad. Like, I'm pulling, but nothing's happening, kind of a thing. And he's like, here, let me make your life easier. And then he just gave me 2 of like all of them. So I was supposed to get 1. I got like 8. And then he just like gave me some like really cute advice. You know what I mean? I was like, for those of you who don't know, 𝗑𝗓𝚘 used to play it. He didn't do it as much at Worlds. But he's a person who was like your staple evolution player when it came to tournaments. So that's where I was like, yo, that's my goat. And obviously he's like adapted more as like seasons went on, and not to say that he wasn't capable or anything like that before. But he was just kind of known as like the Eevee staple, I feel like, for a long time. And so he was like, well, what part of it? And so then I was like, listen, you've made me the evolution player I am. Like, I watched a lot of your stuff. We're doing competitive now. If it weren't for like watching a lot of your gameplay, I don't know if I'd be like as invested in the game and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And so he gave me advice on EVs, and that was really cute. So I don't know. He's great. How do you feel about the next 3 months that got announced? That's a great question that I actually haven't talked about at all yet. So Palmont comes out the 4th. It looks very simple. It kind of reminds me of Lucario in a way. I'm probably like, oh my gosh, 𝗑𝗓𝚘, what the hell? I'm gonna actually spontaneously combust. Hope you have great success and even more fun in your competitive Unite season. Easy use for the win. Listen, you're the GOAT. Chat, can we get a shout out for 𝗑𝗓𝚘? That's crazy. But no, listen, I said it at Worlds. You are literally the hero. Like, listen, I would not be the Unite player that I am, the evolution player that I am, anything like that, if it were for you, literally. For those of you guys who are on YouTube, 𝗑𝗓𝚘's literally in my chat right now. But no, thank you for just like making me the player I am, and just like honestly being just such a kind person. Like, you know, it's obviously intimidating to walk up to someone and say like, hey, I've looked up for you for years. Don't know if I'd be playing Unite right now if it weren't for you and like the content that you do and just who you are as a person. So, the fact that you were just so like kind and receptive and like, I don't know. You were just a really kind person, and I appreciate you and just like everything that you do, because you can tell that you have a lot of love for the game and the people. And I feel like, not that that's rare a lot of times, but it's really heartwarming to see someone do it the way that you do. And I think that that's a really beautiful thing. So just like hold on to who you are, and just know that you have a lot of people, even if they're not like actively coming up to you, who just appreciate you for your genuineness. And listen, the EVs just win. That's it. We just play the EVs and we win. You get me? So no, you're a hero. You're great. Guys, go support 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Go support 𝗏𝗏𝗏. We used to run into nouns all the time on ladder, like season 1. So it was literally a moment of like, we saw nouns at Worlds like year 1, and we were like, wait, that's everyone we face on ladder like once a week. So ever since then, it was just like, you guys were the people we rooted for because you were the people that we fought the most. And so we would have this thing where like I would play an 𝗎𝗎 and then whoever was playing one of the EVs top would always like spin together. So even on ladder, you guys are really great. And so you guys have been our ride or die since year 1. So just keep being kind people, you know? The EVs always win. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you guys. So please support nouns. Please support 𝗏𝗏𝗏, guys. I know we have Unite fans here. I know you guys are here for a lot of competitive Pokemon stuff, and that's what we come here to do a lot of the time. But for those of you guys who are Unite fans, and I would hope that you guys are, given the amount of Unite content that I have done on the channel, you guys should do that. But like I said, I'm hoping we can compete this year. We have the team. We're just hoping that tournaments are like receptive to letting new people in, because they're changing the format. Also, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you immensely. Thank you. Thank you. I know they're changing the format for newer players and newer teams getting in. So it's going to be tougher to be a new team and make it far, I guess, in the competitive scene. But I am excited to actually like compete and be the designated support player. So really cool. Really cool. And I say, chat, we open good luck packs. We open some good luck packs. You made Masters again for the first time in forever. Period. Congratulations. Can I ask what you're playing? Can I ask what the main is? I think my top 4 are still 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Pika, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know what you're playing nowadays. I know you went on an 𝗟𝗡𝗚 kick for a long time, but not sure what you guys are playing. But here we go, guys. We have Fire Energy, we have Bronzor, we have Morlul, we have Alolan Diglett, we have Volcarona, we have, this is the silliest Appleton I have ever seen. What a silly little guy. Okay. We have Iron Bundle, Licia's Appeal, Reverse Holo Esper, Reverse Holo Phanpy, and Rabsca. That was very underwhelming. It did kind of look like Yoshi. Oh, you're a Slowbro main now. Okay, Slowbro, Glaceon, Venusaur, Sylveon. Okay, so all attackers, 1 defender. Period. Slowbro's really good. Slowbro's very, very good. You asked me my opinions on the Unite Mons, and then I got so sidetracked. Let me actually answer the question that you asked me 20 minutes ago, and I had an ADHD sidetrack moment, and then I forgot. Palmot's probably the first all-rounder I've been excited for in a little bit. Its moves look interesting, and I don't know how I feel about the moves, but I like Palmot as a Pokemon. So it at least makes me have the motivation to play an all-rounder. That's not Suicune, that's literally just a ranged defender. but Palmot's probably the one I'm most excited for in the all-rounder category. Empoleon looks interesting. Empoleon kind of looks like an all-rounder Armarouge from at least a little bit that we've seen. So I think that's very interesting. I am kind of surprised that Empoleon's not a defender. I'm surprised, honestly, that Empoleon and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 aren't defenders. Because I feel like the hook mechanic, especially on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, is very, like, defender-esque because you're just pulling it into the team and, like, enabling them. I literally have a tweet. I think it's from, like, I pulled it up. When did I tweet this? Oh, let me actually search it on my actual profile. Oh, I can't, wait, yeah. Oh, yo, Dusty, thank you for following on YouTube too. Very kind of you, I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. So this was made in 2023, which is crazy that that was 2 years ago now. Kind of crazy. Where? So oh, hey, that's the wrong one. I wanted this one. So yeah, I've gotten a solid amount of them. This was made September 26, 2023. I still think Togekiss as a support would be really cool. So would love to see that. I still think Torterra as a defender would be really cool. Weavile Speedster would be crazy. This one's really silly, but I would love to see Miltank or Tropius as a support slash defender. I just think Milk Drink would be a really cool thing, especially with Rollout. So it would kind of combine healing plus Rollout Wigglytuff. But I think Tropius would be really cool too if he just dropped bananas on the ground and then it was like a CC if you stepped on him. I did get Cerulege as an all-rounder. I think Lopunny would be a really sick all-rounder. Jolteon is probably coming, and I think Speedster just makes sense for Jolteon. And I did get 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I still think 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 makes sense as a defender, but what do I know, chat? What do I know? I'm just the silly Evolution support player. And that's all I got. Good luck with Unite. I know you and Vandy will demolish the competition. Much love from Australia. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. We're doing our best. We've done a lot of practicing and we've done really well in practices. I did compete in one tournament earlier this year as the designated Leafeon player. I was like dual Leafeon Umbreon player. Because they didn't need a Sylveon, and Sylveon's probably my best of all of them. So got to play in the Evolution tournament. But overall, like I said, the practices have been really close, and when we do run into higher caliber professional teams, it genuinely comes down to the Ray Pit flip. And I think for us being a newer team, that is good. And I think that means that we have potential. But like I said, I know they're changing the format this year for how tournaments work and like the points that you need to qualify for things. It's very different this year. So we're just kind of waiting on our like team manager to like give us more information on how all of that's going to work. But like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't know, I'm just really excited for everything that Pokemon is. And we get Vaporeon. We didn't even get a chance to talk about that yet. Vaporeon coming soon. I saw Vaporeon while I was standing in the arena and I stood up and I screamed. Genuinely. I've been waiting for like another Eevee for so long, you guys. So long. So listen, it wasn't Flareon. However, Vaporeon puts us one step closer to Flareon. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really big. I think that's massive because both me and Flareons are waiting for Flareon. You know? And if there's any one of us that are rooting for Flareon to come to the game, it's me and Flareons. Call me crazy. So, I personally am excited. The people within a 3-mile radius. Listen, I'm just excited there's another defender because we went on such a drought for supports and defenders for so long that like finally when they released Alchemy, I was like, yes, yes, please. Also, too, Grow, thank you for being a Woodland Guardian for 40 months. Lurking and listening while at work. Stay awesome, you future Unite world champion. I don't think so, but that's really nice of you to say. That's very, very kind of you to say. And listen, I'm all for positive manifestation, so thank you for that. Thank you. Thoughts on Team Taylor Kelsey? I am very excited for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I'm happy that she finally is in a place in her life where she feels like, you know, everything she's wanted for a long time is finally happening, and it feels genuine and not that someone's using her for her fame. And I think that's really cool. You know what I mean? So, I think that's nice. But, I have to scoop way closer to this camera. Hold on. All right, the chair's not gonna move. Here we go! Water Energy. 𝗵𝗔𝗔𝚘𝚗, Meryl, Rellor, Grapploct, Appleton once again. It does look like Yoshi. Like, if you look at it a certain way, it does give Yoshi vibes. We have Koraidon, we have the Dragon Elixir, we have Wattrel, we have Drillbur, yo, chat? The first quote-unquote hit, if you want to call it that. We have a Slacking EX. Very cool, very nice, very pretty, very slay. Very nice. You were the reason Razor found out? Ace actually broke the news to me. Somehow I was on Twitter, but it hadn't hit my timeline yet. I literally closed Twitter, and then Ace messaged me and was like, did you see? And I was like, no? And then I thought it was fake. And then I went to Instagram, and then I realized it was real. And I was like, oh, right. Somehow I didn't see that, but I don't know. I don't know, chat. All right. So yeah, I know this is like a much more chill stream, but I don't know. I'm kind of down for a chill stream after the fact that I have not been able to be live after Worlds in a hot minute. Yo, we have the Miracle headset. I got the ESPN notification. I love the fact that so many people like genuinely found out because of ESPN. I think that's so silly. And if you were to tell anyone who was a Taylor Swift fan like 8 years ago that ESPN would be the first person to break the news to a lot of people about Taylor Swift's engagement, not a singular person would believe you. Like, not a singular person, you know? I just realized I have Sylveon on my draft team too. Chat, get you a girl who has the duality of Sylveon in her life. It's me. Casey, it's good to see you. Yes, it is the first time we've talked since Worlds. Yeah, we got to meet. I'm very glad we finally got to meet because it's been like, what, 5 years? 5 years in the making? No, you were very kind as well. And I appreciate you stopping by and like, you know, you're very respectful, very kind, very just like, you're a very like warm person to be around in like a kind way. You know what I mean? So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for just being a really nice person. You know, I appreciated it. Also, Bulba King, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. We have a Fire Energy. We have a Dino. We have Drowzna, Esper, Wattrel, Goldango, Magnezone, Technical Machine, Meryl, Drayton, and 𝗟𝗓𝗄. Chat, daily reminder, if you have not claimed your shiny 𝗟𝗓𝗄 from the mystery gift in Scarlet and Violet, you should do that before they go away, and then you're like, I never got my shiny, and then you're sad. Because I do that a lot. I'm speaking for myself. I got mine. But for all of you people who are like, oh, I'll do it later, and then later never comes because you forget, I'm speaking to you. I was a little nervous to approach you, but it all ended up being good. Like I said, I'm not a very scary person to approach, you know? Like, I think I give off, like, at least in my head, like, the least threatening aura of, like, a lot of people you could approach. You know? I would like to say that I don't give off those vibes. So, yeah. Obviously, I get it. I 100% get being very intimidated to be like, hey, so I followed you for years. Hope this isn't weird, but like, looked up to you for a long time. Hope that's really cool. I'm really socially awkward, so thanks for accepting this affirmation. And I'm just gonna go now. I'm gonna go to my corner, you know? So, I get it. I absolutely get it. But congratulations on getting the Switch 2 this weekend, Logan. I know that's been a long time in the making. So, honestly, super cool that you're getting it before ZA. You know what I mean? You get to play ZA on the better graphics, on the better system. Things we absolutely love to see. Also, for anyone who's coming in right now, this booster box was gifted to me by Viper, who met us at Worlds. So, for those of you who do not know, Viper has been a longtime viewer of me and Vandy as well. And when we met him, he gave us a care package that was just filled with good. Hey, Viper's here too. Chat, I say people's names and they appear today. Is this not? Guys, I'm all here for the positive manifestations, but this is getting a little scary. It's happened 3 times. How are we doing, Viper? How are Hey! Yay! Lynn's is basically a sorceress. No, and the thing is too, guys, in my battle with Ben, I literally talk about the fact that I say that something's gonna happen and then it happens like 4 different times. And I'm like, chat, never give up on your manifestations because clearly it's happening now. And so it's literally just a thing of like, I say someone and they appear and it's scary. It's happened a lot of times in a row. And normally it's like once and then I write it off as a hee-hee and a ha-ha. But like the hee-hee and ha-has are intensifying. But I showed everyone the slabs and the little like goodies you gave me. So thank you once again for the support and the love. And this was a very generous thing that you did not have to do. So thank you for this, by the way. It was also really funny. I don't know if Vandy told you this, but when we were walking past the security guards with the box that you gave us, obviously they looked at us weird because they're like, what's in the box? You know what I mean? So we walked through and obviously the metal detectors didn't go off. So they're like, oh, they're harmless. And then the security guard who was looking at us weird for the box, like looked at both me and Vandy and was like, hey, I love your guys' content. And both of us were walking and we were just like, sir? Like, I guess the Pokemon security guard knew me and Vandy? So that was like whiplash of a century. So I was just like, thanks. I love what you do for security. Keep it up. You know what I mean? So that was very shocking. So, humble security guard, if you're also here and want to say hi, let me know. I think much respect for your game. Like, you're doing great things in the world of security. Keep it up. Oops. We have Palde and Tauros. We have the counter gain? Yes, counter gain. That's the words. All right, we have Executor. We have another dino and oh my god, she's stunning. This is one of the prettiest cards I own. Guys? This might be on the list for one of the best cards I've ever pulled. Like, this has to be a semi-rare card, right? Also, Logan, thank you so much for being a Stream Loot sub. It's a $35 card. Yo, guys, surely I have sleeves. I do have... Oh, wait. I think they're over there. We're going to put it very carefully over here where nothing can harm it. And we're going to sleeve it immediately. Yes, that's what we do. Oh, thank you, Casey. Obviously, of course, you do not need to get me anything for my birthday. I do appreciate, obviously, anything that you do send, and I'm not telling you to not to. However, I'm just saying you by no means need to feel obligated to. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad you flew into a better airport than LAX. Me too. Me too, to be honest with you, because, yeah. It just seemed very overwhelming to fly into LA, and I just genuinely don't want to imagine, like, trying to get to the airport early. You know what I mean? Like, that's... Like, trying to handle that in LA just seems like a lot. And granted, I live in Atlanta, so I don't think I can say too much because the Atlanta airport is also its own, like, demon, if you will. Like, the Atlanta airport's very intimidating to most individuals. However, it just didn't seem like the play. Also, Orange County was closer. So it's like, why would we go to a further out airport that's gonna cause more stress? You know? That's where we're at. Anyways. Leaf Energy. 𝚘𝗘𝚅. 𝗔𝗡𝗔𝗦𝗃𝚘. Yamask. Quaxley. Azumarill. Gravity Mountain. Exeggutor. Oh my gosh, another one of these things. The Energy Search Pro. Reverse Hollow Crocalor. And Tapu Koko. I remember when I flew into the Atlanta airport, that place is massive. Yeah, they're doing construction on it right now too. But it is the largest international airport in the world. Casually, you know? Casually. Also, really funny, on our way home, 𝗔𝗎𝚘𝚗𝚗 was on our flight. Rosemary Kelly was on our flight to Worlds, and then on the flight back, we were on the same flight as 𝗔𝗎𝚘𝚗𝚗. And we were like... You know what I mean? So, really cool. So a couple weeks ago, my kitty Spaghetti. Aww. But that means new kitty potentially on the way. You know, obviously I think it's good that you're giving yourself time and space. Because I think that processing those kind of emotions is very important rather than like shoving them down. But that means you have a positive thing in your life to look forward to. And I think that that gives you a very appropriate amount of time to, you know, process everything. So very, very kind. All right, here we go. And another 𝗔𝗎𝗄𝗃. I hope you're doing well. Still annoyed that one day I go walking and out without my EV cards. I find you in the gang. Oh, that was you. Yeah. So for all of you guys who are on YouTube, this is a viewer who ran into, I think it was me and Nexus and Vandy and I think Mopo was with us too, like Donschnack. But yeah, that was so cool. At least we got a picture though, right? If I'm not mistaken. So super good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Hello, hello. I know, that's like, it's the way it always works, right? It's like the one time where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go for, oh, it was Supra. It was Supra, okay. Like, we were just with so many people constantly, I just, you know what I mean? The brain can't even process anything anymore. But very glad we at least got a picture together, though. That's super exciting. Super duper exciting. So, but that's my luck in a nutshell, is like, it's the one time I don't do that one certain thing, and that's the one time it happens. Like when we went to New York City, the one time I didn't make sure that the deadbolt was locked on our hotel room was the one night that someone broke into our hotel room. But that's besides the point. Anyways, guys, fighting energy. Everyone was okay. Except for not me mentally. But you know what? We were physically okay. But super good to see you, though. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're just doing a very chill stream. Opening some TCG packs gifted to us by Viper. Hey, look, guys. That's my Terra Captain. One of two. One of two Terra Captains. So, we're going to open some packs. Like I said, for some reason, my anxiety is just really high today. And I don't know why. I think it's because I'm just overtired and I don't think I slept well enough. And so I think it's the mix of the fact that, like, I didn't get enough sleep for my sleep meds on top of waking up and doing a lot of physical labor as soon as I did wake up. And then I think the nap just put my whole body in a limbo and now my body doesn't know what to do with itself. You know? You know? Yeah, exactly. No, that's literally the story of my life, Victini. But we did have a lot of fun at Worlds. I got to meet a lot of really cool people. Like, obviously, Vandy and I got to meet a lot of viewers. We got to meet a lot of other creators that, like, Vandy and I have been friends with for years. So it's always really good to, like, obviously see friends that you know and, like, work together with constantly, but you're never, like, in the same room as these people. You're always just in Discord calls, you know what I mean? So really good to catch up with, like, so many creators. And obviously, like, it's really cool also being involved in so many scenes because, like, we know a lot of people in the Unite scene, and so getting to talk to a lot of, like, players that we know, people we run into on ladder, like, a few of the people that we know on ladder that we've, like, played with before, like, we're at, like, competing in Worlds. So, like, it was really cool to see V1 on the stage, because I have a lot of mutuals with them. Unfortunately, like, we didn't get to see any of their games at all. But, like, you know, it was really cool. We got to meet Danko. For those of you guys who know Danko, Danko's played Unite a lot. Danko's also, like, IRL personal friends with a lot of people on a V1. So that was really cool. Obviously, Adesu was in chat a little bit ago. I got to meet 𝗼𝗠𝗔𝗓. So for those of you guys who have seen 𝗼𝗠𝗔𝗓 around chat, got to meet them. We were supposed to hang out, like, one night, but unfortunately it was, like, a creator-only invite, and I felt bad that I couldn't invite him. But yeah, it's just really cool to see so many different people from so many different, like, spheres. I love Worlds. Like, genuinely, we got to go in Honolulu last year. We got to go this year. Truthfully, Worlds is almost like a non-negotiable for me. Like, if I ever have the opportunity to go, like, I want to go. And I'm praying that when it's not in the US, it's somewhere affordable. Because, like, Japan was not affordable. It was, like, thousands of dollars for a one-way. And I was like, that's not how, I can't afford that. So in those situations, NAIC looks a lot better. Or even EUIC. Because Vandy and I talked about going to EUIC sometime. Because one of our friends conveniently works in hotels in London. And for those of you who do not know, EUIC is typically in London. So that works out really well. Also, Ashley, my best friend, literally lives in Germany. So I've been wanting to go over to Europe for a long time, especially to see her because I haven't seen her in so long. So if it goes to Toronto, I'd absolutely go. Canada's another place that I've wanted to go, but just have had no, like, reason to go to Canada, I guess. So, but it'd be really cool, though. I also have a lot of friends in Canada. So getting able to, like, see my Canadian friends and be able to go across their border, then forcing them to go across ours. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. I'm just saying, guys. All right. We're going to do Steel Energy, Yamask, Quaxley, Larvesta, Mankey, whatever that berry is, Magneton, Latios, Relor, Armarouge, and chat. I'm literally just pulling my draft team. What are the odds I pull Skeledirge and Milo back to back? Is that not crazy? Such a pretty card, too. Like, that's... The odds of that, chat, are not high. What? The manifestation is a little scary, guys. I don't know how this happened. Oh, my Pokemon Center haul. I didn't get a ton. I can show you guys 2 of the things. I got the Jigglypuff shirt. That one's unfortunately like in the laundry right now. I can show you a few things. Hold on, give me just a second. I still haven't unpacked my suitcase. They're literally still in there. My hands are full. Okay, so not all of this was Pokemon Center. It's like a combination of just a lot of things, right? I had been searching for just a regular plush of this for forever. And the only one I had found was that one back there. That was a Japanese exclusive that cost me like $300. And chat, I am so happy to report that Bingus is here. I have finally found a Bingus plush in the wild. I have scoured everywhere. Anytime I see a place where they have just nothing but Pokemon plushes, I'm like, do you have for it? It's like my opening line. So I finally got Bingus. Bingus is here. So what I did, I wore like overalls one day, like little shorteralls. They're really cute. And it had a little front pocket. And so what I did is I had Furret sit like this. And so she was peeking out of my little pocket like this all day. And so Bingus is here. I took pictures of it too. So, you can look on Twitter, and you can see the little pictures of her sticking out of my overalls. It was really cute. I love her. I love her. And then on days where I wasn't wearing overalls, she stuck out of my purse. Cause I have just like a little small one. So she fits so perfectly. And then she would just like peek out. So Bingus is here. Bingus is finally home. And conveniently, after I got Bingus, I found Bingus XL. This one is a little deceiving. In theory, it has like a little skeleton inside, so you're supposed to be able to bend it. However, like when you bend it, it doesn't stay very well. Like it's staying now, but it's gonna fall very quickly. But yeah, we have bigger Bingus, if you will. So I can't make her sit up like this, like I can the other one, but she's just kind of meant to literally just be the meme of like Furret walking. So both Bingus and Bingus XL were purchased, at the vendors, not the actual Pokemon Center. These are the only Furret plushies I have found in like 2 years. I have scoured the internet because the thing is too, apparently, like, I don't know if you guys know the collection I'm talking about, but there's like 2 plushies and you pull them apart and then they like slowly move back together with a string. There's a Furret version of that plush. Every single vendor I find always has every other version they made of that plush, but they never have the Furret, ever. And they always say that Furret's one of the first plushies to go. So I don't know where the Furret fan club is. I have never met them, but I would love to. And I just have a lot of questions as to like who these people are and how I can get in contact with them so we can hang out. So yes, we have Bingus and Bingus XL. I do not know where Bingus XL is going to go because he's just so like literally long. And see how this is like already flattened now? So like, I don't know. However, they had it, like they had a life-size ferret plush, guys. It wasn't for sale. You could only get it using championship points by like competing at these side events. But because I wanted to watch Unite in VGC so much, I didn't compete in any of the side events. But there was an option for a life-size ferret plush. I didn't even know that existed. It's now like top of my wish list. I would love nothing more than to have a life-size ferret. Where it's gonna go, I don't know. That's a problem for next year's Lens. But, that apparently exists. I'm sure there was Vulpix or Ninetales. Like, genuinely, almost every single Pokemon you could want, they had. The really ironic thing, too, is one of the vendors had almost every single sitting cutie of existence, and they had them sorted by color. And then they had like a bunch of them sitting on top of the case. And I went over to pay at this like little side counter, and conveniently the two plushies they had right next to like the little checkout station was ironically 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 So are you just like aware of my draft team, or like why are all of my draft mons like appearing? Because like whoever gives Tornadus Therian representation? Like outside of draft, when was the last time you guys ever even consider Tornadus Therian as a Pokemon? Like probably not very consistently. So I don't know. But like the universe is doing some like weird wacky signs recently. And I'm like, 𝚤𝚢𝚗𝚗 and Excadrill in this timeline next to each other? And like they were the only two together because everything else was like so separated out. I'm like, the odds of that's not high. That's also the same person that I got Milotic from. Obviously Milo was like the one I had to buy, because I've never seen Milotic anywhere else ever. And she's also on my draft team and I love her. She's like one of my most favorite mons of all time. And obviously I said it once, I'll say it again. I would first pick Milo in draft and not think twice about it. I love her and I have always loved her. She's like top 3 Pokemon of all time for me, potentially. I adore her. So I bought her. And it was just very ironic that I purchased it from the people who had 𝚤𝚢𝚗 and Excadrill at the checkout counter. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? From the side vendors as well, I also got Beepy. So we have reunited them. They're different shades of pink, but we're not gonna question it. So we have little and big, but Clefable was with me at Worlds last year, so I felt it was only fair that I got little PP for Worlds this year. Not only because it's good in VGC, but obviously she's one of my mains in Unite. So we have her. Ow, why did my hand just cramp? Like not my hand, but like down, like this cramped. How did this cramp? I don't know. I digress. Also, I've never seen a plushie of this before, so I bought it. We have Sitting Stuffle. She looks very flat, but we have Stuffle. The Ferd and Centris support plush is available on the Pokemon Center website. See, I'm confused how every other vendor always has all of the other ones, but they never have that one. That is good to know, though. That is very, very good to know. I'm sure there was Serena. Like, I kid you not, guys. They're all sorted by color. It's one of those things where almost every Pokemon imaginable is probably there. Like, there's just 1,000 at this point, but I'm like 99.9% positive there was Serena. Oh, yeah. Rock, Ruff, and Lycanroc. I can't speak. Those are fan favorites. You'll find a lot of that stuff everywhere. I will say, for anyone who is a Zoroark fan, especially, Pokemon Center just did a merch drop of a lot of really cool Zoroark stuff. They also have Toxtricity, Obstagoon, and one more that I can't remember. But they did a really cool merch drop. They have like a bomber jacket that has Zoroark on it. That's honestly pretty sick. I think Newt bought it. But for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, there you go. Now from the actual Pokemon Center itself, I did get the Jigglypuff with the bow. I got the Azumarill with the flower in its hair last year. So I tried to do like one specific like world's exclusive plush every single year. They were literally out of these Jigglypuff, and I found this one by itself in a random bin because someone decided they didn't want it last minute. And I like walked up to someone, I was like, is that your Jigglypuff? And they were like, no. And I said, oh, that's great. She's mine now. That's so crazy. Because the Pokemon Center is like a dog-eat-dog world. I know Nexus said that he was literally holding a jersey in his hands to like figure out what size it was. And someone walked up to Nexus, took the jersey out of his hand and was like, thanks, man. And Nexus was like, bro? And the guy's like, tough, and walked away. And that was the last one in his size. Like, the Pokemon Center's crazy. Like, not to be that person, but I think them opening it up to the public was just such an issue. It just invited way too many scalpers. And, like, the amount of people... I don't know if Vandy talked about this, but what these people would do is scalpers would go to the Pokemon Center because you didn't have to have a pass. You didn't have to have a pass in order to go to the Pokemon Center. You just had to get a Pokemon Center admission. Scalpers would buy so much stuff. And granted, they had a limit, and the cashiers controlled the limit, but they would walk out with bags upon bags upon bags upon bags of just everything. And then what they did is they went into the hotels after the events, and then they tried to resell and scalp these things in the hotels. The hotels then kicked these scalpers out and are like, no, you can't sell this stuff at our hotel. Like, what are you doing? So then they would sell them on the street, on like the corners. And then people would be like, no, you can't sell this here. So then they went in this little like strip, because they would have a whole bunch of food trucks like lining this like giant area so people could have food. And then there were a whole bunch of tables with umbrellas in the middle where people could sit and then eat said food. They would take over those tables and then resell all of the stuff under the umbrellas. Like, the scalping was crazy. Anyways, all of that to say, I bought Jigglypuff. And I had to fight for Jigglypuff. Not really, but like, I knew I had to grab it in that one moment in time, or I wouldn't have had it. And the amount of people who saw the Jigglypuff in my bag and said, where'd you find that? And I was like, she was just hidden in a random bin somewhere and I found her and she's mine. She's mine. Like, back off. Because I genuinely, like, I had to like close the bag because I was genuinely afraid that like some scalper freakazoid would like try to get in my bag and take it from me, because that's the level that a lot of these people were at. And like, granted, you had a lot of nice people, but there were a lot of scalpers. A lot. Like, you definitely had your mom and her kids and like that dynamic, but you could definitely tell who you had to like hold your stuff near to and the people that you couldn't. And it was quite obvious, is what I will say. So I got Jigglypuff. And then to match, and I can wear these at work, so I liked it. I got the Jigglypuff hat because I thought she was cute. I also didn't realize, I think this is kid size, which doesn't, you wouldn't think it is based off of like, you know what I mean? Like, that looks like a standard hat size by the time it's filled out, right? But like, it says one size fits most. I don't have a big head. Like, I really don't. Like, on most like hats, I typically have to make it like the tightest setting it can go. I literally have to make this the loosest. And part of me genuinely is just debating, like, cutting off the plastic altogether and just having it be open in the back. Like, I don't know why this runs so small. Obviously for the kids, right? Probably. But I was like, this isn't kid size. And I don't have a big head, so. I don't know. Either way. I got the Jigglypuff hat to match Jigglypuff. I also got this one. I don't know when I would wear this, but it was so cute that I couldn't not get it. They had a Pikachu hat. And he's with a whole bunch of balloons. And it's covered in clouds and Swablu and Altaria. And it's just really cute and really wholesome. And I had to buy it because I knew if I didn't, it would haunt me for the rest of my life. So she's adorable and I love her. So I bought her. The last thing, I bought the Jigglypuff shirt as well. That's the one that's in the laundry that I can't show you. But like, I got a little Jigglypuff collection, if you will. The last one is not something I bought, but I told you guys about it earlier. These are the Nouns glasses that 𝗓𝗏 gave me. So for anyone who was like, what do you mean by like 8-bit style like glasses? These are the ones. So it's a whole thing where like anyone who's a Noun supporter like wears them in the like audience while they're on stage. So it's very cool. So if you ever see those, that's typically representative of Nouns. Thank you for liking my nails. I appreciate it. Wear it during your next draft battle. You get it. You get it. No, the varsity, like literally everything that my brother wanted especially was gone. They didn't have the varsity jackets. They didn't have the jerseys. They didn't have the duffel bags. Like everything that my brother gave me a list of what he wanted. And if it was in stock, I would have at least like debated it for myself. Was gone. Not a trace. And I was getting worried about the Jigglypuff because I was like, yo, all I want in this room is the Jigglypuff, and I swear if that's the one plushie. Because obviously they had all of the Pikachu in the varsity jackets. They had all of the Fennekins. They had all of the Machamps. And I was like, why is Jigglypuff the one sold out? I mean, like, I get it, but also at the same time, like, huh? Also, what is this? Oh. Period. Okay. Sorry. We're good. We're good. I just got a message and it was one of those things where it's like, this is either going to be a positive thing or I need to be scared, and I wasn't sure which one it was going to be, but it's a positive thing, so therefore we're fine. But yeah, no, the varsity jacket was sick. I can only imagine how much it cost. But no, also very surprised that the Pikachu and the Fennekin weren't sold out either. That was a very shocking thing, to be honest with you. All right, let me open a few packs. It was 130, but I mean, like, honestly, the quality's really high. So, like, I feel like they could have charged a lot more than that. And, like, the quality of it, I think, speaks for itself. You know? Also, if anyone knows anyone, by the way, I really wanted the World's 2024 backpack. I have been on the search for it for, like, a year. The only people I can find who are selling theirs are scalpers who are trying to sell it for $200 when I know for a fact that backpack cost them 40 bucks. So, if anyone knows anyone who doesn't want their Honolulu backpack, let me know. I am more than happy to pay a reasonable price for it. That's not $200 because I really want it. And I've wanted it for that long. I have a few people I know who may still have it. I mean, I don't want to take it from someone who wants it, though, too. are signing up for the Pokemon XP event. So that's a part of Worlds. That's actually like the Worlds tickets to our understanding. So yes, I am like planning on buying Worlds tickets for next year. They have extra? Yo, they have extra and I can't even get one. That's crazy. Like, good for them, I guess, but like, they have extra. Oh, they're judges. That's crazy. They were all sold out by the time I got to the Pokemon Center. Me too. That was the one thing I wanted and they were all gone. Oh wait, that's not the last one. This one's the last one. They made it so you have to buy an arena ticket to attend. Wait, no, that's how it was this year. Like, you had to have a Sunday pass. So it's technically the same thing. They just, because they're not connected, this year was first come, first serve. I don't think so. You had to have a pass and they scanned your pass when you walked in the door. But I mean, like, it's not like the outside people could just like come in. You know what I mean? So, yeah, for the arena. Like, you still had to have a pass. If my pass Pokemon XP is making a ticket to... Right. So, to my understanding, right, Pokemon XP is like, it's a separate thing. So what you can, so Pokemon XP is like an immersive experience in San Francisco as a city where you're going to be able to experience Pokemon like in the city itself, to our understanding of what's been like released so far. And then you can buy a Sunday pass that would be in the arena, because the arena and the like place that the event is happening are two separate places this year. Like, the arena's not connected like this one was, where you can just walk in between the two. So you can buy an arena and XP together if you want to. Or you can do a whole thing where you get the 4-day where you have like the experience and the arena and XP with everything all together. So it's like technically the same thing. It's just the fact that they have to be more like separated this year, because you can't just go from... I'm saying it's not going to be... No, I think it is. I think it is, though, because I don't know if I see a realm where you pick your arena seat and it works like how that would normally work. Unless they do. In which case, I will eat my words and I will gladly tell you that I'm wrong. But every single Pokemon event I have ever attended in my life, you get, because it's the like city experience, and this is an arena that holds 19,000 people. And in order for them to use that arena, it costs them a lot of money. And so in order for them to do that, they have to make their money back. So I think the only way they can realistically charge everyone the same fee is by making it so that way when you get the email that says, hey, you have been selected to purchase your ticket for arena and XP, they're not going to make someone who gets floor at the Chase Center pay the same price as someone who has, like, sorry, a different price than someone who has nosebleeds, right? So I think it just makes sense for them to make it like a flat fee, and then the way they've done it every single year is you get your spot. You have to be there early. You get your spot, and if you don't perch in that spot, you lose it. I don't know if I see a realm where they say, all right, here's the map of the arena, now pick your stuff. You know what I mean? But I think it's going to be, like Mark said, guaranteed entry, but it's going to be first come, first serve for seating. That's my overall thought. You know what I mean? So, it's also like you get it's everything. There's just a lot of things coming into it. And like realistically, if Pokemon keeps getting bigger, like stuff's just gonna start costing more, because in order to do things of that caliber, they have to be able to make their money back, you know? Like, getting Pokemon's name on the Chase Arena is very expensive. That's very different than your random average Joe arena that holds 4,000 people that typically people use for graduations, right? So if the production value's higher, your cost to see that stuff is probably going to be higher. You know, especially if you're getting more than just the arena out of it as well. So... Hi, 𝗑𝗓. Welcome to the stream. Guys, if you're not already, please follow 𝗑𝗓 if you guys are over on YouTube. Grandmaster 𝗑𝗓 and I are in the same draft league. And they were really silly about my 𝗑𝗓𝗔𝗓𝚘 strat. And it was really funny to see. So you guys should support 𝗑𝗓 for being a very kind and wholesome individual that I appreciate greatly. You know? I asked marketing what it would cost for them to get the arena. Yes, you did. You did tell me that. You did tell me that. It sucked for Worlds because apparently I had to ask the staff for the Worlds exclusive merch, and finding the staff. Yeah, Honolulu was tough. I mean, like, aside from the sales floor, not sales floor, but the security was very tight in Honolulu. That's what I'm going to say. They were like, where's your badge? Flip your badge around. Like, they were so on top of it in Honolulu. It was kind of like night and day between Honolulu and not San Fran, that's next year. Anaheim. Yours truly was a victim of the heat. Well, listen, I was a victim of Resolute Keldeo. And you know what? It evens out. Keldeo's my boy. I was so happy when you drafted it. I was like, yes, finally someone loves Keldeo. Finally. So. Yeah, you told me how much the arena cost Pokemon for them to get, and that's a lot. I'll sweep DMs when you have time. Okay, I just responded. Also, super regret not driving up. Wait, you were a hop, skip, and a jump away? No, you should have. You absolutely should have. I mean, like, obviously, I know that there's a lot of factors that go into it. And, like, Anaheim itself is busy, especially with it being near Disney and everything like that. So, I do get it. Obviously, it would have been really great to see you. We had a lot of, like, Nexus was there. So... it was typically a lot of me, Vandy, Nexus hanging out and doing stuff. I don't know if you know the Dawn, like AKA Mopo. He's in that server as well. But he does a lot of draft. He was there, so. Very silly time. Very, very silly time. I was telling chat earlier that my battle with Ben is one of the silliest things I've ever done in my life. This is like background lore for you, 𝗑𝗓. So Ben and I have known each other for years, like probably 5+ years at this point. But he and I have never battled each other because I was always like, oh, you're just like too good and I can't win. So if I can't beat you, like whenever I do battle you, I'm just going to bring 6 red cards. And that's been like the running bit between like me and him for like half a decade, right? And so when the battle like schedule for Bubble came out and I fought Joey and Ben back to back, I was like, well, I can't bring 6 red cards against Joey. Like, obviously I'm not gonna win, but I can at least see how far I get, right? But I was like, but I can bring 6 red cards against Ben. And so when the stuff for like the planning and all the scheduling went back and forth, he was like, hey, so I have a request. So last season when I did draft, I drafted Mousehold. and PM7 and everyone like deemed the mice as the fans. Bring the mice. And I ran that past my front office and I was like, hey, so he wants the mice. And they were like, so let me get this straight. He wants you to bring the mice. And I was like, yep. And he was like, so, he can prep for the mice knowing that you're then going to bring the mice. And I said, yep. And he was like, so he's going to be able to know one of the mons that you bring, be able to prep for it, and then immediately have everything in his toolkit to counter the mice because he knows they're coming. And I said, yep. And he was like, so what do you get out of this? And I said, positive chat feedback. And he was like, no, that's not happening. So we ended up running a different team. And so I told Ben ahead of time, I was like, so I have really bad news for you. The mice aren't coming. And that then set off this whole chain of memeing back and forth where he was like, well, the frogs were ready to be docile, but now the frogs want war. And I was like, well, great. Now I've picked a fight with the frogs, right? So he started then sending me a picture of a frog that was on his door at his house. That was like, the frogs are summoning. That means you're in danger. And I was like, this man actually summoned IRL frogs and is now sending me threats through nature. Like, what do you mean, right? And so I did a really silly thing where I continuously teased the idea of 6 red cards. And I showed up at his house and I just left a package at his door. It was a box that was like this big. It was a big box. I filled it with nothing but filling paper and $50 worth of confetti. And there was nothing in the box except for one singular red card at the very bottom of it. So man opened that box, dug through $50 worth of confetti and nonsense just to find one singular piece of red paper at the bottom of it. And Vandy was like, so Ben, like, you know what that is, right? And he goes, a red card. We filmed the whole thing. And he was like, yeah. He's like, good luck, buddy. And he goes, am I gonna face 6 red cards? And so this entire week, he didn't know whether to call my bluff on whether I was bringing 6 red cards or if I was legit. And we called it Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And we did nothing but play psychological warfare. It's all in my team builder. I like vlogged the whole thing. It's so stupid. But we called it Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, like, torture, right? And the whole bit was I named 5 of my mons some variation of red card. And then I named one, like, hi, John, with, like, a smiley face or whatever. And so the whole bit was that I did, in fact, bring 5 red cards, but the only real red card that existed was the red card that showed up at his doorstep that he had in his hands all along that was given to him by the mice. Because that was the whole bit, was it was an apology gift that the mice couldn't be there. That the mice gave to Ben as an apology for their absence in the battle. And this is where my front office said, thank God you were born for the hee-hees and the ha-has and not to be a serial killer, because that's some crazy mindset. So, like, the memeing back and forth is so good. Like, there's so many layers to this battle that happened between Ben and I. It's so silly. Oh, you're both in the APA. Okay. I see you. I see you. That's as petty as me drafting a Lowland Muck 3rd overall? Damn. Red cards are the new red flags. Listen. The season's not over yet. I could do it against Nexus. I could do it against Nexus. He's next. And Nexus and I have known each other for arguably longer than I've known Ben. So, I'm just saying, we have time to cook. He told me he doesn't want to battle till next, like, Tuesday or Wednesday. I have time to cook again. I'm rested. I'm recharged. My brain has had time to, like, think and decompress. Single strike Urshifu never saw Moonblast coming from Sailor Muck? Alolan Muck gets Moonblast? Where's your moveset? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Wait, it's not telling me it learns it. Where did your muck... Oh, Gen 7. I was like, that is not in its moveset right now. And I feel like I would know because Vandy has a Alolan Muck on his team. And I literally, like, have built teams around him to, like, help him mock. Gen 7 or Gen 8 event moves. That's crazy. I knew Ben before Bald. Wow. I think I knew Ben as he, like, was going bald. Like, I was right there on, like, the cusp, if you will. But, dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. Honestly, like, that's why I said, like, I did not go into this league when Ben's like, hey, so we're making a draft league. Would you, like, join potentially? And I was like, so do I get to, like, phone a friend and bring, like, Vandy in if I haven't done drafts since, like, Gen 6 and I'm the only girl? Just so, like, I'm not the newbie that's just there by themselves and Vandy's not the newbie that's there by themselves. Can we both be the newbies and get absolutely trampled together, but we're in a relationship so we can at least hug it out while everyone just steps on us? And he was like, yeah. Obviously much more positively. It was wrapped in a very pretty package. Very convincing, the bald man is. He's very good at his PR job. But I was like, listen, I don't go into any of these battles expecting to win in any capacity. I just want to do silly little strats and have people be like, you know what? That was silly, but somehow that worked. And good for her. Like, respect on the name. That's all I go in here for. So it takes a lot of the pressure off when you don't go in expecting to win. And then if you do win and your silly strat somehow works out, you're like, hey, I didn't get 6-0'd by Joey. That's really good. That's really big, actually, because the chances were high. So I take the little victories and it takes a lot of pressure off. So I don't know. For me, that helps the mental. Chat, what are the odds we actually get a hit in this pack? What are the odds? I should probably not have my open water bottle in my lap, just ready to spill it any given moment in time while I do this. When Ben asked me, I was hesitant because of the time, but he and the friends collected. Yeah, exactly. When he was like, because the thing is too, I've known Seabad for years. I've known Nexus for years. I've known Callum for years. Obviously I've known Ben. I've known Vandy, obviously because he's my boyfriend. I think, is there someone else? I forget everyone who's in it because my ADHD does not allow me to think. I've known John by association. Oh, Boffin. That's what I was thinking of. Obviously Joey's a household name, but Boffin and I have been in a ton of events together for like years, but we never had a chance to like talk to each other because it's always like 8 million people in a Discord and it's never just us talking. So it's been really cool. That's why I was like, so even if they have more experience than me, they're all my friends. And that makes it at least a little less intimidating. That's like a lot less intimidating. No, Boffin getting 3 crits in 5 minutes was like disgusting. Granted, did I forget to click Terra Electric? Yes. That's what happens when you mock on Showdown and you can't go back and like fix your mistake, because as soon as you click your move, you're locked in, kind of a thing. And I realized as soon as I did it, I was like, it was a crash out. It was a really big crash out. But still, even then, man still got 3 crits in 5 minutes. Like, I don't even know. Beating Joey was huge for my season. Yeah. No, you ate that up. That was, honestly, like the mind games that you guys were both playing, like you guys were both 5 steps ahead of each other at every given moment in time. And that's why when I fought Joey, I was like I'm playing checkers and this guy's playing 3D chess. I also had no idea Empoleon got Yawn. No one ran it in the mocks with me. And that literally threw up my entire game plan. Like, was not expecting knockoff, was not expecting Yawn. And both of those things cost me my entire game because it messed up both of my sweep setups. Because knockoff made me lose my eject button on Sandaconda, so Sandaconda couldn't just pop out and have Excadrill come in for free. So that messed that entire shenanigans up. And then Yawn, obviously on the turn I belly drummed, was insane. Like, in a good way. But I was like, this thing gets Yawn? Like, why? You know what I mean? But no, Diet is so nice. I didn't know his name was Jason, but he's been reaching out to Vandy and I like via DMs, and has just been like so supportive and like asking us how we're doing and how we're feeling with our teams and just like pulse checking this entire season. Very scared to fight him because he's very good and he has Terra Hydrapple, which I wanted, by the way. I wanted Terra Hydrapple, and I was sitting on the couch with Ben before draft even happened, and he was like, are there any mons up here that you really want? And I was like, yo, I've been running Hydrapple in VGC. I think Hydrapple would be really silly if I took it. And I can't remember what the conversation was, but basically, like, the vibe ended up being like, don't go for it, go for Torrentee. And I was like, I mean, I can, but like, I don't know if people will first pick Torrentee. You know? Like, I feel like I at least have a chance for Torrentee coming back. But I was like, I feel like Terra Hydrapple is going to go fast. Either way, I'm still very happy with Torrentee because I ran it in my last draft league. But someone took Terra Hydrapple and I was like, I told you. I told you. And he's like, well, yeah, Terra Hydrapple is really good. And I'm like, I'm gonna, you know. I was like, that's so interesting that you say that now. Isn't that so interesting? I was like, I have Torrentee and Hoopa Unbound, so can I really complain? No. However, shouldn't eject button activate when you get hit by a damaging attack? Right. It should, but if the Pokemon clicks knockoff, you lose your item. So it knocked off my eject button. So therefore, eject button no longer exists. You know? Aw, what a guy. Things we love to see. Honestly, by the way, after everything, you should make a compilation video of you being a silly little guy and everyone's reaction to it. Oh, like the flame orb thing and everything like that? No, honestly, I'm glad I put respect on Excadrill's name. Because, like, a lot of people, like, are like, oh, that's such a Gen 6 mon. I don't know how well it holds up to today's, like, caliber and all that kind of stuff. But, honestly, Excadrill's, like, my MVP of the season. Like, Excadrill is putting in so much work, it's kind of crazy. So, I might be gifting you the Frit net pillow my friend got. Is it that one that's sitting right behind me? Because if so, I think I already have it. The one where it's sleeping? I don't know if it's that one, but that is A lot of people use it as a furret neck pillow, so I don't know if that's the same one you're talking about. But if it is that one, don't spend your money because that might be it. That's right behind me. I could have 2 sleeping binguses, and they could sleep in camaraderie. But I just don't want you to spend your money for you to be like, oh wait, she already had it. You know what I mean? Not that you need to feel obligated to buy me anything ever, but if you watch Nexus, the fling was worth the burn sadness. Did I watch Nexus's? I might have. I genuinely can't remember. I'll go back to his VODs though. I'll go back to his VODs. No, I had a little bit of a crash out with Ben, and I felt really bad because I genuinely like sat down and I cried to Ben in call. Cause I was like, Ben, I know I came into this for the hee-hees and the ha-has, and I know that my stuff members only, but I didn't realize how big a lot of these people are. And when you said that people do like watch parties together, I thought you meant in call with like the other coaches. I didn't know that my mistakes would be broadcasted and live reacted to in front of a live studio audience, for hundreds of thousands of people by Joey, of all people, who has the biggest platform of everyone, and Nexus, which like, honestly, like, Nexus is a bro. Like, I love Nexus. But like, it was very intimidating because Joey's so big and no one knows me that I was like, oh, so like if I do really bad, like I don't, you know what I mean? Like my entire brain was like, everyone's gonna laugh at me and everyone's gonna tell me that I'm bad and then the comment sections are gonna be awful. So I literally had to crash out to bed. I was like, I'm not thinking about dropping, but like, I don't know if I'm capable of doing this league at the caliber people expect me to play at. And that's just really stressful going in, knowing you're not gonna win. And he was like, no, you're gonna be okay. Everyone's gonna be really nice about it. And I was like, I know they are, but what if the comment sections aren't? And then I get laughed at. And so I did my little crash out. And then I got over myself. And now I'm like, listen, F it, we ball. And I'm just full throttle. I am full throttle on F it. I made everything public and I said, we're just going to do the silliest stuff in the entire world. And if it blows up in my face, so be it. But no one else can say that they would do that silly stuff in draft. So I might as well be that person. If you're expected to lose, there's nothing for you to lose. I realized that. I did realize that. I was like, well, if people don't expect me to win and then I don't win, if anything, I feed the narrative. But then if I do win, then people pop off. Because people don't go in expecting me to win. And then as soon as I realized that and I got over myself, then it was good. I just need to have a small crash out where I cried. And Ben was like, tap, tap, it's gonna be okay. And I was like, all right. Full throttle. Let's be manic. Let's make it all public. We ball. And we've just been cruising ever since. So, yeah, exactly. You got my mindset, Gabby. I just had to get there. Kyle! How are you doing, gamer? Yeah, exactly. We all just need a little crash out from time to time. And then you lock in, and you're like, so, maybe... Like, sorry for overreacting. I just kind of forgot that everything was gonna be okay. And now that it's all okay, let's ride this and see how far we go. Let's do it. But I don't know. That's my mindset. I'm like, listen, let's run the silliest stuff and see if it pays out, you know? Because what do I have to lose? The reputation I don't have? Oh, darn. So we all need a small crash out or one big enough to fill the entire Eras Tour stadium. You get it. You get it. I feel like everyone's entitled to like one emotional crash out a week, right? I feel like it soothes the soul. That's Big Brain Plays. My comment section and the new viewers versus the wins and the new peeps got things to say. Listen, my thing is, and like I know I talked about this in the server, is It's really weird. The less I try to be like a pro person, the better I battle. And like, that's really weird, but I genuinely kid you not. Every time I pull up the damage calc and I like try to do like what the draft people tell you to do and calculate and make sure you're making the right plays and all that kind of stuff, that's when I lose the game. Like straight up, if I just battle off of vibes, I just lock in at a different level and things go really well. The second I'm like, let me actually be a professional battler and do what the voices in my head tell me to do. We're going to do what the front office tells me to do. And I'm going to type in Pokemon damage calculator and I'm going to input the little numbers and do what the little things, that's when I lose. And I don't know how that's the case. I don't know how that's my legacy, but somehow that's where I'm at. But if I go off of vibes, I follow my heart, and I play the lock-in playlist, I just lock in at a different level. I get yelled at for not calcing. That's what I'm saying. My front office is like, why didn't you calc that? And I'm like, because if I don't calc it, I play better. Whereas if I do calc it, then I spend so much time making sure that I'm actually making the right decision and like feeling like I have to go through all of these options. Whereas like 9 times out of 10, if I just go with my initial gut and my like following of what I would do, it typically pans out better anyway. It's the ADHD. Well, like that too, right? But like, at least if I break it down like that, it makes a little more sense, right? But that's also why it was really funny, because Ben messaged me afterwards and was asking me like a lot of questions about the battle. And he was like, so, like, this build on this Mon, like, why? And then this turn, like, what went through your head? Because, like, you shouldn't have done that. But somehow you did, and that worked out to your favor. You know what I mean? And so Ben messaged me, and I quote, okay, whatever drugs you were on, playlist you had, or zone you were locked into, do that for every game. I was shooketh. And I said, great, it's because I wasn't battling with the damage calc. And it's just like, I do better when I don't do what I'm supposed to. I don't know what it is. I don't know. The lock-in playlist, it's the equivalent of Ash Ketchum turning his hat backwards. No, I kid you not. Where's my Spotify? Honestly, so in my week 1 battle with Seabad, I minimized OBS. And I just didn't have it up, so I didn't know it was capturing the audio of the playlist. It's literally baked into my battle with Seabad. And because of that, my video is blocked in Russia and Norway or something like that. Because the copyright gods were like, that's not appropriate. But I kid you not. Where's my lock the fuck in playlist is literally just a picture of a whole bunch of mouse holds. Isn't that so silly? Oh, that's not the one I want. So it's like, it's the equivalent, right? Until you look at it and it's just a bunch of mice, right? It's just a bunch of Jerry's with mushroom hats. So it's like, the aura is quite different. I do better when I do what I'm not supposed to is the anthem of all ADHDers. It is. I don't understand. Like I get it, right? But like also at the same time, like that's just not how it should be. I don't know. Because that's the thing too, is Ben was like, well, you should have known based off the damage that this thing did that I wasn't like choice item on this thing. And I was like, well, right. But here's the thing. You're a pro. I'm a noob, right? Like not a noob. I've done Pokemon my entire life, but like I'm not built to like see damage and be like, oh, that was Specs. I can tell that, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna assume you fed it a lot of Flintstone like dinosaur gummies and it just is really good, right? Because a lot of these things just do a lot of damage, you know? And I was like, well, no, I couldn't tell. And he was like, but you couldn't tell based off the damage? And I was like, no, actually, you know, because you're a pro. But for Nuzlocke me, who just does challenge runs, I said, that could be choice. Guess we'll find out. So it's just a total, like, difference. And I guess, like, had I been a pro and, like, known, like, either he was choiced or he wasn't, would I have played it differently? I don't know. But me not knowing worked out to my favor. So it's like, I don't know. Either way, it's interesting. Like, it's not something that I thought would come into play, but like 90% of the questions that he asked me were rooted in some like version of that, if you will. But it's interesting. We have 𝗔𝗡𝚑𝚗, we have 𝗔𝗓𝗏, and Sylveon. Where's Ariel? I know she's lurking. Very pretty Sylveon at that. There she is. There she is. The odds of that was kind of crazy. Wait, hold on. No. Chat. Where's it at? Guys, did you realize we pulled all of my draft mons back to back? I didn't put the 𝗟𝗓𝗔𝗏 in the pile because it was just a holo and not an actual art. Hold on. I'm so serious. I don't know what I put in my little blueberry waffles earlier, but my level of like manifestation and like me speaking about things and then them happening is alarming. Wait. It's in this pile. I know it is. Yeah, okay. I found it. So, wait, 𝗔𝗨𝚑, thank you for the gifty. Oh, no, you subbed. Wait, no, 𝗔𝗨𝚑 got gifted a sub? 𝗔𝗨𝚑 gifted Prime. I'm following. It looked weird on my screen. Thank you for the gifty. I appreciate you. And Prime, congrats on your gifty. Be sure to thank your gifter. You're a hero. Thank you. So, in order, chat, we pulled 𝗟𝗓𝗔𝗏 holo, right? And I was like, oh, look, my Terra Captain. That's silly. We just pulled Sylveon EX, also on my team. And then we literally pulled Milo. Wait. We literally just pulled Milo before this. Guys? Guys? Is this play about us? That's crazy. The odds of that is not high. Just to make that abundantly clear. That should not happen. You just played a game where your mom was... Oh, where a mon clearly did a lot. And I was like, ow, that hurt. And my brain had no time to think and said, it's banded. And I went into the battle gaslighting myself. Yeah. That was like part of my goal with Ben, was to just like absolutely play mental warfare, like I said. This isn't like spoilers for the battle by any means. But I ran Choice Scarf, Sandforce, Excadrill. So I basically had both abilities in one. And so the goal was for him to just be like mind fricked on like what was happening. And it worked out decently well. Because he had a berry for like his first mon, so like it weakened the damage. So how Serena and Frostlass sound like for Terra Captains? I think it depends on what the rest of your team is. But if you're running an ice team, like what I am, I don't think it's a bad Terra Captain. Like I said, it really just kind of depends on the synergy that the rest of your team has together, you know? Because like the thing for me too is like, one of the best mons I could have had as a Terra Captain on my team was Hoopa Unbound. But A, it cost a lot of Terra points. And B, the amount of setup that I needed to do in order to make Hoopa Unbound be able to do what it needed to do was a solid bit. Like, I had to have Trick Room up. And which is fine, but it's not a free pivot the way that Chilly Reception is going into Titan. You know what I mean? So if you're going to set up Trick Room, they're going to know that you're probably going to pivot your next turn. And like, I can Chilly Reception and just pivot out, but then you're wasting a turn of Trick Room in order to get your pivot, or you're hard switching into it because they know that that's coming next. You know what I mean? So if I would have done that, people would have been like, oh, here comes Hoopa, you know? So it would have been too easy for them to like know what I'm doing and then punish me for it. Because these are all very capable, clearly well-established people, you know? So I think it's just something to like take into consideration the synergy of your team, because it wouldn't have been in my best interest to Terra Hoopa given how all of that worked and how reliant it was on setup, you know? Oh, I forget that this lo-fi version has a Discord audio at the sound. It freaks me out every time. I'm like, why is Discord going off? Whoever does that is literally just, they're sick. They're sick in the head. It's a fantasy draft team of Chomp, Zapdos, Serena, Frostlass, Screamtail, Uxie, Tentacruel, Zard, and Metang. I mean, Zapdos is obviously very good. I also don't know if this is singles or doubles. Screamtail's really good utility. Yeah, I agree with Mikey. If you're gonna run Frostlass, you definitely want something to set up the snow so you can capitalize off of it. It is singles? Okay. Yeah, you have some solid mons. You just want to really look at the synergy that they have together, right? Because like Frostlass isn't going to do much without snow. So you want to have something that's going to be able to set up snow. And then once you have snow up, like, how are you going to then like set yourself up for success, right? So just being sure you have a way to do that. Because all on your own, like, those are solid mons. But they have to be able to play off of each other very well. But thank you so much, Anonymous, for gifting a subby to Molly, I believe it was. Yeah, to Molly. Thank you so much. Molly, congratulations on your ad-free viewing experience over on Twitch. Very awesome. And now you no longer have to worry about the silly little ads that pop up. So shout out to the Anonymous for gifting to the community. Thank you, thank you. Try Galarian Slowking, it's the best when it comes to that. You can do Galarian Slowking, or regular Slowking also gets Chilly Reception. Because that was the really fun thing about me and Iron Boffin, is we both had Slowkings, and we both had the option to do Chilly Reception into our Slush Rush mons. So you can either do Galarian Slowking, or you can do regular. However, I will say, if you do end up doing Galarian, you could run basically Snow and Toxic Spikes at the same time. Because obviously Tentacruel gets access to Venoshock. So you could use Slowking as a Chilly Reception and a Toxic Spiker. So then that way any mon who comes in poisoned, your Tentacruel immediately has the ability to do a bunch of damage off of. You know what I mean? So I'm a Glowking believer. I have Glowking on my team. Glowking's great. But that's kind of the stuff that you want to be looking for, is you're like, hey, Glowking not only helps out Tentacruel, but it also helps out Frostlass. You know what I mean? So you just kind of want to look for like interactions like that. Just so that way you have a little bit more synergy between all of your mons. So that's definitely the main thing. But Queenly Majesty on Serena's really good. I actually almost took Serena. I decided to keep Decidueye and do Sandaconda instead. But I almost... There was a realm where I almost took Serena instead of Hisui and Decidueye. Tentacruel's the main reason I picked... I don't know if it gets rapid spin. That's one I don't know off the top of my head. But I'm saying I would do Glow King and Tentacruel, just so then that way you have Glow King as like not only a secondary toxic spiker, because Glow King's typically a pretty safe lead because you can Chilly Reception out, you have Regenerator, so even if you do take a hit turn 1, 9 times out of 10 you're getting that HP back and you're at full HP. But you can use it to Chilly Reception, immediately pivot out into Frostlass. That's immediately going to benefit off of the snow. Or you can use it to Toxic Spike and then Chilly Reception out. Even if you don't go into Frostlass, you can then go into Tentacruel. And you can Venoshock anything that's poisoned from your Glow King. And then you can always have Tentacruel as a backup setter if you want to. I mean, what you want to swap out is your own personal prerogative. I don't want to tell you how to manage your team, and at the end of the day, your team is your team, and you feeling like you like your mons is most important than anything. So I would make a team that you feel comfortable with and that you're happy with, and not feel like you're picking mons because other people told you to. But I will just say I think Glow King plays really well into your team, because it enables 2 of your Pokemon with a free pivot. So I think it's potentially a really good option, because then people have to prepare for hazards and snow. You bought me a shiny Bingus plush? Wait, you got me Taffy? You bought me Taffy? The one that's on my trainer card? Thank you. Shiny Bingus, chat. Taffy is here. Have no fear. Taffy is here. Bars. Thank you, gamer. Obviously, you don't have to do anything like that. Obviously, your kindness is very much so appreciated, and I never want it to come off like I don't. But thank you. That's very kind. Sorry, I was responding to Mark. Aw, thank you. Do you have basic training in February of next year, so Worlds might not happen? Well, Worlds will be in August. So depending on how long basic lasts, you could potentially be okay. I don't know how that schedule typically works out for you. But obviously you can buy your tickets next month, and then Worlds itself only happens in August every single year. It's getting the PTO off. I mean, at least you'd be giving it to them a year in advance if you do end up getting the tickets. I think time and heads up typically helps, but I mean, it's just a matter of how much you want to prioritize Pokemon Worlds versus like IRL, family, anything like that. Because I definitely see a realm where that takes priority, you know? But good luck, gamer. And thank you again for the plushie, but you are far braver than I for doing military service. Because the last time military people came up to me and said, hey, would you be interested? And I told them that I already had PTSD. They said, thank you, never mind. Like, so I appreciate it immensely. Thank you. If I do draft, I want to start it out with some of my favorites, Garchomp, Serena, and Frostlass, and I eventually want to partake in a draft league because y'all make it look fun. Yeah, I think those are all really great Pokemon to draft. Garchomp's really good. Vandy has it. Serena's really good. I almost took it. Like I said, you just want to be sure that Frostlass gets the setup that it needs, and setting up snow is going to be really massive for that mon, because without the snow, it doesn't like reach its full potential, if you will. You do just want to look and make sure that the abilities it gets aren't banned in whatever league you want to do, because Sand Veil is like banned in ours. So sometimes if you have like evasion boosting abilities, it's not allowed. So just make sure you double check the rules and stuff like that too before you draft, because if you can't run, isn't it Snow Cloak that boosts evasion, if I'm not mistaken? If you can't run that, then you're gonna be like, is Frost Blast like as worth it as I want it to be, you know? So, definitely look into a lot of stuff. It's open Terra, but my next 6 team is Dragapult, Mega Guardy. Oh, you got Megas? Oh, that's so lucky. King Gambit, Gliscor, Skeledirge. I love Dirge. Shaman, who is your Terra? Fascinating that Terra's, or Shaman's the Terra. Oh, thank you so much for the gifty. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate the gifty over on YouTube. Congratulations to whoever received it, and be sure to thank your gifty, or your gifter. I can speak, I swear. But thank you for the gifty over on YouTube. Very, very kind of you guys. I lost where I was. Inteleon, also my 𝗃𝗓𝚗𝚗. 𝗃𝗓𝚗𝚗 is really silly. I like it. Sylveon and Mudsdale. And Mudsdale's your last Terra, but it's replacing Gallade. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. I do love Megas. Mega Meta was the last one I did. I don't remember my full team, but I know I had Serperior, Mega Lopunny, Volcarona, Hoopa Unbound. I always lose it as soon as I start saying it. It's gone. Tornty. That's all I remember. Like, I remember my team until I go to say it, and then I don't remember my team anymore. It's really weird, but that happens every time I try to say my team from Gen 6. If I was just working with Cursed Body on Frostlass, that's fair. That's very, very fair. Oh, Ninjam, you got it? Okay, cool. On my side, it's still loading, like, who got the gifted. On, like, literally every single... I have 3 different places where it tells me, like, who got gifted what. And it's just never told me who got gifted. So, congratulations. Oh, Terra Inteleon and Gallade is replacing Mudsdale. I'm following. Yeah. Very interesting team. Gliscor is nasty. Gliscor's a really good mon to have. Dragapult's obviously broken. Mega Guardy's like just so much special attacking damage. Obviously I love Dirge. Dirge is one of my Terra captains. But thank you, Cody. I appreciate it. Thank you. I will say, chat, I am probably gonna go ahead and call it a stream here. We've been going for about 2.5 hours, and I feel my voice starting to like... It's starting to voice. You know what I mean? Like where you feel it, like right in here. Also, like I said, I'm just really tired from being up at like 5 a.m. today, and like just like the random anxiety spike that I have. And I don't know why it's here. But thank you guys for vibing with me for as long as you have. Obviously, like I said, I know you guys come to stream and you guys are like, oh, like stream is a positive distraction for me and it makes me feel better because it distracts me from my life. That's the same thing for me with you guys, you know? Like you guys are my positive, happy distraction. I will say, I do close tomorrow and the next day. We are doing a little bit of a birthday celebration for Vandy before he starts his subathon on Friday. So I'm hoping I can be live Friday and that we're back from dinner in time. I can always do an afternoon stream if like I need to. So I'm gonna do my best to stream on Friday given the time limitations. But other than that, I'm gonna try to go as live as consistently as I can now that I'm back in. Like, I'm grounded now. You know what I mean? We just kind of had to, like, bounce back a little bit. And then when it comes to ZA coming out, I am going to change my availability at work just so I'm not closing as often. Because I definitely want to prioritize getting content out to you guys, streaming more consistently, stuff like that when ZA comes out, now that we're kind of coming out of that drought period, if you will. So, that might mean afternoon streams. So... Just keep an eye and ear out. But I'm definitely now at a point where I'm like, all right, we're getting back to streaming when I have the free time. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Keep a lookout for potential afternoon streams. And I will probably be live Friday in some capacity. Fingers crossed I'm either back from dinner in time or I'll go live earlier. Other thing to look out for as well, I will be helping Vandy out on his subathon as well. I almost just spoiled one of his incentives. Oh, so glad I didn't do that. So I'll be helping him when like he needs breaks and stuff like that. Obviously, I do still work a real job and I need to stream on my own time and do draft and all that other kind of stuff. But you will definitely see me popping in and helping him out on his subathon, as much as I'm obviously humanly able to, with everything that's going on. So, you'll definitely be able to see me there. So I think his subathon starts Saturday afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. I will tell Vandy you said hi, dear. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you for stopping by and thank you for just being like a really nice person, you know? I think it's really nice to be in a league where you're outclassed by every single battler and you don't feel like you can't talk to anyone because everyone is so like kind and welcoming and receptive, and you know, it's just really nice because, you know, those spaces could be very intimidating and it could not be that environment. And so I think the fact that this is some of the best in the like in this like platform, if you will. Like you guys are just genuinely some of the best draft battlers in the Pokemon scene. Everyone being really nice and welcoming is really cool, genuinely. Because you could be in these kind of similar spaces in another format, another game, and it's the opposite. So thank you guys for all just being really cool, genuine people, because it is really nice to see, you know? So either way, I'm going to stop yapping, guys, because as the title of the stream says, I'm good at it and I'll just keep going as soon as I get sidetracked. So with that being said, have a wonderful rest of your night, gamers. In case no one told you today, chat, I'm proud of you. And whether that means you just got out of bed, whether that means that you did your silly little task for the day, whether that was forcing yourself to eat a snack, you know, if you had a long day, if you had a short day, I'm proud of you for surviving another day because there's only one of you and nobody can ever replace you. And please remember that. So I will see you guys all in the next one, hopefully on Friday. Have a wonderful rest of your night, guys. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for the kind words, Hickey. I appreciate you. Have a good night, guys. Goodbye.